This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Trojan family, what is up? Welcome to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the weekend. And we kick it off with some great news in Trojan land. Last night, late in the evening, right essentially when the transfer portal closed. I don't know if it was midnight for everybody or midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific, but it's officially closed now. We obviously know about the AJ Tuateli news that I spoke about last night. You can see that video of him deciding to enter basically right before the portal closes. But the big speculation, the big concern, the big hope, all had been centered around, at least for the last week or so, Alex Graham, freshman defensive back. So right at the midnight hour, USC puts out the bat signal. They give 3 hourglass emojis, signaling 3 signings of some kind. So we all thought and hope was one of these 3 Alex Graham. We'd been saying for the last week, or I'd been saying that I felt like it was imminent that he would return. There was some contract language in the NIL contract that they were working out. There was also some hope for some clarity on his position coach, Doug Belk, to make sure he would be back. That was kind of the thing slowing it down, but ultimately felt like this would get done. And yes, as you all know now, I'm sure, woke up this morning. We have it on our message board over at lafnort.com, but Alex Graham has officially re-signed with USC for the 2026 season. This is a big one. I feel like in terms of freshmen go, there would have been, if he ended up leaving and entering the portal, I think fans would have been more upset than they were about Hassan Longstreet. And I get the Longstreet thing hadn't played. He's the backup, and Graham was looking like to be a starter outside of being injured. So I get that, but it's pretty surprising that outside of probably Jakeem Stewart and maybe Floyd Guickard and Tanuk Hines, 3 true starters, this probably would have been the one that upset fans the most if Alex Graham did not re-sign. So this is a really, really big one, not just to appease the fan base, but because he is a damn good football player. He was if you remember, he flipped a signing day flip from Colorado. He's originally from Detroit, Michigan area, and had been committed to Colorado for, 6, 7, 8 months or so. USC was able to flip him on signing day. So there wasn't a ton of known about him because we didn't cover him all recruiting season. And so it was like, oh, cool. This is a nice 4-star corner, from the Midwest, come in, compete. We'll see what he can do. He gets to campus and we're talking fall camp. And this kid could start as a true freshman. And, it was basically between him and Prophet Brown to kind of be the starting nickel. And then Prophet Brown goes down, unfortunately, and it's like, we're starting a true freshman at nickel. It's going to be the Alex Graham show. And then unfortunately he gets injured right before the season kicks off, ends up missing the first 5 games or so. And you could see that, we didn't know what he could be because we're not in those rooms, but I was able to see obviously a couple practices that I've told you guys during fall camp. So I did see him a little bit in the fall camp, but wasn't able to see him after that. And obviously he was injured. So it was more just expectation and kind of hype at that point. But then when we finally saw him, we saw him a little bit in the Michigan game. They slowly worked him back, which was the right move. You don't want to throw a true freshman coming off an injury right into the fire. So slowly kind of worked him back, and we saw the potential. We saw the hit ability. We saw the turn radius with his hips. And so this is a really special player, 6 foot, 200 pounds, that has a ton of versatility. I talk all the time about defensive backs at USC need to be versatile. Even without Dan Lynn, that's what Doug Belk preaches, Trevon Reed preaches. You want guys that can play nickel, outside, and safety. Obviously, eventually you want to get them in their box of where they truly fit best, but you kind of want to test these all out. So Alex Graham, I think, can certainly play nickel. I think he probably has the absolute ability to play on the outside, but he also has the ability to play safety. And so I think we could certainly see certain personnel packages where, let's just kind of speculate here in January what the defense looks like, where we see Jontez Williams and Chasen Johnson or Marcellus Williams as your two outside guys. Interior and nickel could be either Prophet Brown or Alex Graham, with your safeties being Christian Pierce and not Bishop Fitzgerald, I wish, he will be gone, and Kennedy Urlacher. Or we see a world where you have Prophet Brown as your nickel, and instead of Kenny Urlacher, you have Christian Pierce and Alex Graham as your other roving safety. So this gives USC's defense a lot of flexibility, gives them a lot of versatility, and also just gives them arguably one of their best returning players in the secondary. That seems like a lofty thing to say considering we didn't see much of him, but you can tell when the way coaches speak about players, and I've said this before, like, when you ask a coach about a player, they're not going to come to the media and be like, oh yeah, he's not playing well. Like he's way behind schedule. Like they're going to give you coaches speak. Yep. Does the things right, works hard. The key is when you ask the coaches, hey, who is standing out? Or, hey, talk to me about the secondary. Who's a guy that maybe we should be excited to see? When they then single someone out without being asked, that's when you know that guy's standing out. So every time we would ask about the secondary or about the freshman class, Alex Graham's name always came up as a guy. Yep, he's above his years. He could start if he was healthy. We're working him back in slowly, but we want to get him on the field. So this is a great re-signing, one that needed to happen, one that does ultimately happen, and one that USC fans should be very excited about. Now, the three emojis, the three hourglass emojis, there's only really two other scholarship players from last year's roster that have not been re-signed if they're sticking with just that. One would be Sam Heward, who we know is coming back as the third quarterback. So maybe they're going to announce that. Just, give him his announcement as they should, as re-signing. The other one is kicker Caden Chittenden, who I wouldn't think they'll be bringing back, at least on scholarship, considering they have Ryan Sayeri, who was the kicker all last year, took over that role because Chittenden was injured, did it glowingly, and is on scholarship. So I don't think they're going to have two scholarship kickers. So Sam Heward and maybe one other. Now, I heard a little bit, with AJ Tuatele leaving at the last minute to go to the portal, there was thoughts like, oh, are they going to go get another backer in the portal? Could be. I have heard, though, that they're using his scholarship in-house. So it could be a walk-on that they're rewarding with a scholarship. It could be just someone we're overlooking, perhaps, but likely going to keep it in-house, but not guaranteed. Maybe it is for a portal linebacker or for someone else that they're going to bring in, or save it again for that February signing period for another freshman. Remember, I know AJ Tuatele is now gone, but that February cycle last year, they signed AJ Tuatele and Jaden Ramos. So, it gives them another scholarship flexibility if they want to sign another freshman on the February signing period, or even bring in like a JUCO product at some point here in the next month or so. So we'll see what that means. It could also, this is purely just throwing out some speculation. It could also be, hey, there was three hourglass emojis. One was for Alex Graham. One was for Mike Eckler, who hopefully they're officially going to announce the signing of Mike Eckler as the special teams coordinator from Nebraska. And one could be for the announcement of the defensive coordinator. I told you guys a few days ago, someone had told me that this DC search would be announced kind of by the end of this week, likely. Not guaranteed, but likely. Again, take that for what you want. That's what I was told by someone. We will see if it happens today. If it happens tomorrow, I'll have you covered for it on all of that. But for now, Alex Graham is back. It's a great, great re-signing and a great addition that we should see have a huge impact on the defense next year. Hit that like and subscribe button here at the USC LAFB YouTube channel. Got you covered on all things USC. Appreciate you, family, and as always, fight on. Hey, Trojan family, thank you so much for hanging out and watching the USC LAFB show. Before you go, let me tell you quickly about our friends over at Sleeper. Go right now, download the Sleeper app. It's the #1 sports app, not just for season-long fantasy, but they've got live pickers, they've got live stat updates, they've got a chat you can chat with other users, plus the daily pick'em, which is a blast, or daily fantasy, whatever you want to call it. You go and pick 2 to 8 players across any sports. If you're talking USC, go choose Jaden Mayav in his next matchup. Pick more or less passing yards, more or less touchdowns. You stack those, and you can win real money. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code USCLAFB. You're going to get a match deposit up to $100. Put in $100, you get $100 free to play with from Sleeper. Put in $10, they'll match you that $10. So now you're sitting at $20 to play with. But also right now, for any new users, no deposit required. You get $20 free entry. You can stack both. You can get the $20 for free. Go make a deposit. Use USC LAFB. And now you've got a bunch of free money to play with right there on the Sleeper app. Check it out, Trojan family. And when you do, tell them the guys at the USC LAFB sent you.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.